It's that time again, gang. I am at the Epcot Food and Wine Fest, and I showed up hungry. I didn't eat all the things, but I came pretty close. This is a long one, so I did put chapters in for you. So come along and watch me eat and eat and eat some more. There's some booths I think you should skip and some you just can't miss. Some of these were a bit of a surprise, so come along and watch me eat things at unflattering angles while I melt in the sun. First up to bat is the Coastal Eats booth, arguably one of the more expensive booths, but lobster's gonna lobster. Here's a little lobster. That's from Coastal Eats. This is what I'm gonna look like shortly after standing in the sun all day. So far it looks pretty good. The last festival we were at, they had the grilled lobster and I thought it was delicious, but it was like a little overcooked for me. This looks better cooked. Again, we were revisited by the ghost of heat lamps past over there, so well, let's see. I also got the cuvee. It's pretty good. It's not too sweet, so it's real dry. It's way drinkable. That's delicious, actually. Let's do it. Okay, it cuts through pretty easy. Everything's better with butter. This is really good. It's cooked very well. Let's get a little lemon on here. It's lightly seasoned, but I feel like lobster, you don't really need to overdo it with the seasoning, so I feel like that's totally fine. Get a big old generous bite. That's delicious. That's really good. This might be one of the best things I've eaten so far. Depending on what editing Lauren does, who knows? This might be the first thing you saw me eat. I think you should come see this. Come visit this lobster. Up next is Flavors from Fire. I wish the cheese was melted. That would be amazing. That's not bad. There's like a tomato jam. That's pretty good. Cheese is good. It's a little mayo-y for me. It's cooked well. The Impossible Burger is actually like well cooked. So that I appreciate. There's a little sweetness from the jam. It's not overly sweet. This is pretty good. Usually my issue with Impossible Burgers is they're like poorly cooked, but this is actually not bad. So my husband is eating the regular burger, and you think it's just salty.
The cheese is very salty.
But is the meat, is it cooked okay? Mm-hmm. So we're kind of, it's a little suspicious because we don't like when they have stuff like sitting out under a heat lamp. So this burger they pulled out of like somewhere from the back, but his had been sitting under a heat lamp. So is it tough or anything like that?
It's like well done.
Okay, so the burger's well done, but he said it's a little salty. So it was kind of odd to me that this doesn't say anywhere in the description that it has pork in it. I know it's called swine brine, but I've had drinks called Bayou Punch before, and no one ever went out back and scooped up gator water, right? Hopefully not. All that aside, my husband thought the pork was actually tasty, but the drink was a little too sweet. It says it has Dijon mustard, but he wasn't really able to taste any. Next up is the Brew-Wing Lab, you know, for science. This is the frozen pomegranate tea. Editing Lauren will put the correct name in. But it's pretty cool. We got a paper straw, which is concerning. But it's got the little, it's almost like Dippin' Dots, like orange Dippin' Dots on top. Well, it's really nice, especially because it's so hot. This one's really good. And you get a cute little sticker. So, nice. Cheers. This one tastes kind of like juice, but it's like a little peppery almost. It's got like, kind of like a light peppercorn. Yeah, it's like a little fruity and juicy, but there's like a peppercorn undertone that's really good. This one tastes like bacon bits. This one's real smoky. It's good. It's like smoky, but it reminds me of bacon bits or like, you know, that liquid smoke flavor. I like this a lot. The smoke one. There's experiments taking place. That's pickles. If you've ever been a kid in the 90s who enjoyed drinking pickle juice, Maybe is that a southern thing where we drink pickle juice? You guys didn't do that. In Texas, we did drink pickle juice as kids. It was a whole thing. And this kind of reminds me of that. It's not overwhelmingly pickle. I think this is just enough to sip it and go, ha ha ha, this tastes like pickles. I'm not mad at it though. I don't hate this. You might, I don't. My husband made a really encouraging face. He just went, not for you. That's not it. Juice and peppercorns, smoked ham, pickle juice. That's my order. So far, this is the beverage winner because you get a cool sticker and you get this reusable cup, and it might be 550 degrees outside, so this is like amazing, and it's tasty. We ended up coming back later and grabbing a few more goodies because it's kind of a lot for one sitting, but there's a lot of fun things on the menu. The sauce on these wings is more like a curry, both flavor and consistency wise. I will tell you that we love spicy food, and this is a 10 out of 10 spice wise for us. It got to the point where he just started peeling the skin off so you could finish the chicken, so be forewarned. Cheers. I kind of like this. It's like vanilla milkshake with a hint of dill. This actually isn't that bad. I've eaten worse today. If you're in a group of people, maybe everybody get one and share this one just to try it, but it's actually not that scary. All in all, this booth had a lot of fun flavors, and even if I don't feel like we need to repeat everything we ate, we had a blast trying everything. This one has that kind of like orange rindy taste, but I am getting that peach flavor. This is delicious. The Thai shrimp or the tofu ramen look super good, but I already feel like I'm walking in soup, so now's not the time. So looks like it's time for us to head to the Outback and hit up the Australia booth. My husband thought the lamb was okay, but he wasn't the biggest fan of the potato chips and felt like they were kind of an afterthought. Otherwise, the cook on the lamb was fine, but this isn't something you need to rush over and get. The lamb. This is the shrimp skewer. 5 shrimp you get. They're cooked pretty good. They just grilled them, and then sweet Thai chili sauce. That's what this tastes like to me. Let's try some veggies. Pleasantly surprised that these are snap peas because they looked kind of like canned green beans when I first saw them. They're nice. They have a nice natural sweetness to them, which is really good. They're not overcooked. They're pretty good. I wouldn't rush to come get this, but I'm not upset that I got it. It's not exactly a glowing review, but they're pretty good. I think I might like the snap peas better than the shrimp, honestly. Bite. It's pretty good. So I usually hate fruit and chocolate together, but there's not so much of the jam that it's kind of stepping on the toes of the chocolate. The coconut is a nice touch. I enjoy that. Yummy, and it gives a nice like textural change from, you know, soft, so I like it. Nice little bite, little chewiness. So far the Australia booth is actually not bad. It's pretty good. I know I've said not bad quite a bit, but I like the Australia booth overall. You know, I'm nervous about the mango. That looks pretty good. It's not bad. I feel like I would love some hot sauce or something. Like it needs a sauce. The guac is fresh. There's not a lot of that. It's like a spicy mayo. There's not a lot of there on there. And the mango's not really present, which I like. It's cake o'clock. So this is cheese on top. That's cheese. Let's try the chocolate. I'm not sure about the chocolate itself. But, let's try the cake. It's actually pretty good. Try it with the cheese. I like the salty and the sweet together, but I don't like I feel like it's the quality of the chocolate I don't like. It tastes like Hershey's syrup, Hershey's like chocolate syrup that you would put on like a sundae or something. I think this would be like really good if the chocolate was just like a little bit better quality of chocolate. But all in all, the cake itself is pretty good. That's the consensus, is better than we thought it would be. I love me a mooncake, but nothing else at the China booth is really calling out to us, so I think we're gonna skip it. Did you guys try this booth? Up next is India. We got the samosas and asked for the cream on the side, which I actually saw quite a few people doing. Here's a little cross section for you to see the ratio of dough to filling. There was a little bit of a wait because they were making these fresh, but I never really mind a wait for fresh stuff. Let's give these a little dunkaroo. These were not spicy, but full of flavor, really aromatic with perfectly cooked crust. That's delicious. That's really good. We also grabbed the chicken tikka masala, and I'm not sure if you can see, but it also comes with rice underneath the curry. This was also really yummy. The chicken was tender and there was a lot of really nice flavor here. It wasn't bland at all. I'd put this at probably a 2 out of 10 on the spicy meter. We've had better naan bread before, but overall this dish was a winner. On to the Refreshment Outpost. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. The steam is like fogging the lens up. But this is the chicken. The Impossible sausage right here, and I had them put the sauce on the side because I wasn't quite sure about it. It said it was an aioli, but this does not look like a secret snuck in mayonnaise. This looks like a better sauce. The giant zebra dome. Editing Lauren will put in the real name of this, but we all know, real ones know, this is just a giant zebra dome. We also got the Pilsner from Ethiopia. I'm just gonna get in here like I don't have any manners or sense. This is very messy. We have not a single napkin. It's pretty good. Let's try it with the sauce. The sauce adds kind of like a, oddly it's called an aioli, but to me it's adding kind of almost like a vinegary note. I feel like this on its own is fine. Let me try this more. Honestly, this is pretty good. The sausage maybe has a little kick to it. I wouldn't say that this is actually spicy. I would give this maybe like, I don't know, I like spicy food, so maybe like a 3 out of 10 on the spicy meter. But it does have a kick, but the kick is coming from the sausage. It's good, right? He's like, you don't want the sauce? I see why. When I asked him to take the sauce, like put the sauce on the side, he was quite surprised. And I see why, because the sauce is actually pretty good. And I wouldn't rush over to get this Pilsner, but it's refreshing. I think it's perfectly fine. Zebra dome time. You're gonna love that. That's a zebra dome. Onto the curry. The sausage and chicken were both really tender and flavorful, not spicy but really tasty, and the chickpeas and potatoes were cooked perfectly and added a nice heartiness to the dish that made this feel like a good value. The bread part, however, is a different story. The roll at the bottom wasn't the best. It was just kind of an old, chewy dinner roll that didn't do a great job at soaking up the curry and taking on that flavor. We decided to skip the Alps booth this time, but I did see people getting that dark chocolate fondue and it looked good, so maybe next time. Onward to Germany. So we thought about getting the apple strudel, but when we looked at the kitchen area, everything just looked like it was sitting under a heat lamp. So we decided to grab a couple of beers and pass on the food here for now. We grabbed the Dunkel, which is different from the one they have at the Germany beer cart. It was really rich and chocolatey, malty flavor that we really enjoyed. And the Fest beer had a little bit of sweetness on the back end, hint of lemon and hops, way drinkable and pleasant. I'd for sure recommend both of these. Now for the Spain booth. I'm kind of a sucker for anything that uses squid ink, so obviously I had to get the paella. Let's get a big bite of everything. I'll even get a little saucy sauce in here. That's really good. It's delicious. It's cooked really well. It didn't sit under a heat lamp or anything like that, so big thumbs up. Nothing really stood out to us at the Italy booth, so we just decided to keep it moving. Next up is Murica, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't do a plant-based hot dog over here since Impossible actually makes a hot dog and it would have been kind of an easy thing for them to offer. We weren't in the mood for a hot dog or anything sweet right now, so we opted for the Wicked Weed Fest beer and the Wildflower Honey Ale. Alright, I'm coming at you from the American Pavilion. Burning my legs on the table over here. I made some terrible choices. This is the Wildflower Honey. This seems like it was a good choice. Oh, this is good. It's really light and drinkable. It does have kind of an underlying sweetness to it that's really pleasant. It's not like sugary, but it's really pleasant. This is delicious. This is the Wicked Weed. Well, that's really good too. It's real like malty. This one's a little maltier, so we're split. But they're both good. Like both of these, there's no wrong choices here actually. Tsugi wa nihon desu. I grabbed the eel temaki sushi, which has got a little bit of heft to it. All right, there's no nice way to eat this. I'm gonna make a horrible mess. I'm not mad at this. It's pretty nice. It's a mess. This is an absolute mess, but it's so tasty. That's pretty good. It's not overly saucy. There's a good portion of it in my lap right now, but it tastes really good. It's a little pricey. What was this? I think this was $9.50, but it's eel, it's sushi. Those things are always expensive, but this is pretty tasty. I like this a lot. Griddle cheese. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't look great. The Impossible one. I love Impossible things, but it's a little, doesn't this look a little iffy? It's warm.
Hello, world travelers.
Oh, a band is playing right now, so you're not gonna be able to hear me. Oh, this is actually good. This feels like Greek lasagna. Flavor is actually really nice. Oh, it's eggplant. I'm not sure if you can see it. The camera's having a little bit of trouble focusing, but there's a nice mix of potatoes, eggplant, some kind of tomato base in here. It's way better than it looks. Griddle cheese. Is it bad cheese etiquette if I just pick it up? This is very good. I like this better than that, but they're both actually pretty good, but I think this is worth the hype. Time to head over to Morocco for Tangerine Café, Flavors of the Medina. I usually love the desserts here, so I was excited to try the pistachio cake. There's no filling. It's good, but I feel like I've had better from the Morocco Pavilion. This medallion, I think, is just chocolate. Oh, so it's a little bunk cake. Let's see. This is good. It just feels like I've definitely had better from this pavilion, and it just feels a little plain. I feel like there's usually some kind of like something I'm like really wowed by here. It's perfectly fine. Now we're headed to the Belgium booth to try the beer flight. Cherry Dragon Ale. Cherry. Oh, that's pretty good. That tastes like cherry juice. That's so good. This is delicious. You're gonna like that. Okay, we're off to an excellent start. Dragon. I like this one too. That's really good. Oh, okay, so I think I like the ale better than the dragon. And I feel like this is really malty. Actually, all of these are really good. So we're ranking these. I like this one a lot. This is probably my number one. This one's good, but it's a little like heavy and a little sweet. This one is probably better and it's more refreshing for like a hot day, which when is it not hot here, I guess. But there's like a flavor in here I can't quite identify that I really enjoy. But honestly, you wouldn't go wrong with any of them. But I think if you got a full size of this cherry one, you might get sick of it. Now to Brazil. Cheese bread. They called it cheese bread, and that I can pronounce. They look tasty. All right, step one to festival eats is I feel like I've touched absolutely everything in the park. Now we're ready to eat cheese bread. Okay. All right. Got kind of a little bit of a cheese pull. They're a little chewy. It's cheese, but it almost is like consistency wise, it's like a little doughy for me. I think these are okay. They're a little salty, not too salty, but it's a very mild cheese flavor to me. They're still yummy. I don't think I would rush over here for these, but they're tasty if you're here. My husband said it reminds him of eating stuffed crust pizza. I feel like I would agree with that. Time to see what's at the France booth. Unfortunately, I'm not quite there with my Duolingos, so we got the one with the longest name. Every review I watched online said this was amazing. I'm gonna look at everybody sideways if I hate it. I don't know how to pronounce everything, but she told me that the first word was pronounced Mulled. Mulled. Can I get it on the fork? Oh wow, this is the whole bottom cheese? What a fun surprise. The whole bottom is cheese. This is, what a happy surprise. It's fun to say, Mulled. Mulled. This is delicious. This is really good. It's really soft. It's like a milder cheese at the bottom. And this is really like a fluffy egg white. I think as we get further in here, I think this is maybe onion. The consistency is really nice and the flavor is really good. This would be one of the best things I think I've eaten all day. So far, this is one of my favorite. Now let's head to Canada, eh? We got the lager, and I really don't have too much to say. I feel like it wasn't bad. It's okay. There wasn't anything particularly stand out about it. Swirled Showcase is next on the list, and we got the nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse. This was also fun to watch them serve up. It's a little softer in the middle. Some caramel. This is really good. It tastes like sweet potato casserole actually, without the marshmallow situation. It's got a nice texture. This is delicious. It's one of the best desserts I've had all day. Heading over to the Hawaii booth. I love cheesecake and I'm on a cheese mission, so let's get to it. Cheesecake. Oh, it's nice and soft. Let's get some macadamia nuts in there. I don't like that it's warm. I guess I'm used to cheesecake being cold. The texture is really nice. The cheesecake is really soft and sweet. It has a nice crunch coming from the macadamia nut. And this in the middle, was this passion fruit, right? It's really nice and tart. So it's a nice balance of flavors. I think my one issue is that this isn't cold. And I think it just kind of set out. The temperature of it is a little off-putting, but maybe see if they're sitting out. And if they're sitting out, maybe just keep walking past. The flavors are good, but I have to dock this a star because of the temperature, which is a real shame. Let's head to the Forest and Field booth next. First, we got the Imperial Stout. This I like. This was really good and is heavy on that chocolate flavor, which we loved. We also had to get the ravioli I'd heard good things about. The autumn chili with cornbread. And who doesn't love a good burrata? Also the pinotage from South Africa. Let's get a good bite. That's delicious. That's so good. This is awesome. Big thumbs up. Trying to get a good bite. It's nice. This is yummy. The fig is really good. That's a good, I guess it's a balsamic soaked fig. It's a little on the sweeter side. I think there's applesauce on the bottom. It's good though. It's really dry, which is nice. I can't see myself like running back to get more. Head for scale. It's really little. The wine is okay, but I feel like it tastes like red. I guess the flavor was a little more muddled, so it's hard for me to really pull any specific flavor out. And we've had a lot of wine from South Africa in general that's been delicious. So I would give this a skip. Time for Mulled and Mulled, where we got the blueberry pie hard cider. That tastes like delicious, like apple juice. That's delicious. We also got the frangipane pâte brisée. Obviously, I had to get the cheesecake so that I could be one step closer to winning my cheese eating prize. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. The crust is nice and flaky, but there doesn't seem to be a ton of filling. There's not a lot of filling, but it's nice. It's pretty good. I like that. Already we're ahead at this booth because the cheesecake is nice and cold. It looks delicious. Let's get a good bite. This is so good. I love this. I think it's carrot cake on the bottom. That's so good. Yep. Now we're Bramblewood Bites bound. First up is the grilled bison, and we got lucky and they put some out fresh right when we went over. I can't remember what kind of mushrooms these are, but they look like the kind I buy at Trader Joe's. The bison was nice and tender. The huckleberry gastrique is reminiscent of blueberries and had kind of a balsamic flavor to it that manages to tone down that sweetness. The butternut squash puree had a nice consistency, but gets kind of drowned out by the other flavors. At $8.75, it's losing a star for price point, but overall I think this dish is worth trying out. We also got the root veggies, and my husband thought they were fine, cooked well, and it was a decent portion. Quick heads up though, if you don't eat pork or are a vegetarian thinking maybe you could order the bowl of vegetables here, this actually has pork in it. I double checked the book and I don't see anywhere where it discloses that. I thought it was strange because this is the second dish that we've gotten that had pork in it that wasn't mentioned. Usually Disney is pretty good with food transparency, so I was pretty surprised. Secret bacon aside, this was just okay, nothing to go out of your way for. Last but not least, this old-fashioned inspired cocktail tastes absolutely nothing like an old-fashioned, but does taste just like how Hobby Lobby smells, so it got 2 thumbs up from me. Finally, I'm being rewarded for the amount of cheese I can pack in, and I went to Shimmering Sips to claim my completer prize. This is a vanilla and blueberry swirl soft serve with a cute little cheesecake piece on top inside of a souvenir cup. The soft serve tastes like what I remember Flintstone vitamins tasting like. Not my favorite. I like the cheesecake. I don't think I like the ice cream. Yay, we did it! Well, I'm headed off into a food coma, so that's it for me today, y'all. What were some of your favorite items from the festival? Or if you haven't been yet but are planning to go, what are you most looking forward to trying? I'll see you in the next one. Go forth, be kind, be creative.